It's blog post week, and the mouse, and the cheese, and the little mousey gonna eat the cheese, and the nibbling on the little cheese block. Oh no, fen stalkers. Oh, never mind, the hoppity hoppity like a friggity frog. Welcome back to Kweebec Corner. My name is Connor, and today on Hytale News Updates, we dive into the 2 brand new blog posts that were released by Hypixel Studios this week. After seeing 2 new hires join the team, we catch a glimpse at their first Hytale-related projects. We also get introduced to a new Ashen Wastelands biome and its less than occupied Scorched Ruins prefabs. And finally, we get an abundance of footage, 5 gameplay videos in fact, showcasing more advanced mob AI. And make sure you stay tuned after all of that for a special competition announcement as well. This video is sponsored by ServerPro. ServerPro has everything you need to host the next big Hytale server. With support for modding and scripting, why not start your adventure today and grab a free Minecraft server which you can swap over once Hytale is launched. So let's just jump right into the new footage. First up, we see a showcase of some newly expanded modular AI and mob behavior in the form of a mouse. We see a player throw down a piece of cheese in order to attract the creature. Note that he also crouches before the mouse begins to sniff the air and move towards the cheese. Now, when I first watched this, I honestly didn't know what I was expecting to happen as the mouse went for it. I was assuming the cheese would disappear and then maybe reappear in the mouse's hands with a bit of a clip, but instead it just starts nibbling on the dropped entity itself. I love the immersive look and feel of this, the idea that your dropped items are a bigger, more real part of the world. It makes these basic interactions feel really fluid. The fact that multiple mice can chow down on a single piece of cheese is also an extra detail that I really love. Mice will flee if you don't have any bait. The cheese allows you to approach them with caution. Mice will also appear around chests and barrels within dungeons, meaning finding them could be a sign of good things to come. We can hope that every mob is as fleshed out as this, with special animations, poses, and behaviors that the player can interact with on different levels. We've seen some evidence of this food luring behavior before with trog traps set up that have hanging carrots, probably to catch rabbits. Off topic, but I also noticed a rabbit stealing a carrot from a farm on this image from the website. But besides rabbits and mice, we've also seen more hostile creatures dealt with by using bait to momentarily distract or calm them. Trorks seem to be attracted to meat, and fen stalkers are big fans of fish, as seen in this clip here. After a nice day of fishing, it looks like you'll be able to use these to bargain safe passage through swampy biomes. Perhaps bargain isn't the right word, more just throw the fish down and run for your life. Going back though, I have to say how amazed I am at the attention to detail here. Notice how the fen stalker sniffs around the fish and even gulps, swallows, and burps after fishing. The team say when a fen stalker is enjoying a fish, its view radius is halved. So if you're not a fan of combat or not particularly well equipped at a certain point in time, you can refer back to the basic survival tips like these to keep the fen stalkers at bay. They have a recognizable crawling and munching animation to coincide with the lore as well. It appears this lore currently lasts about 10 seconds. That's not all we get though. We've seen that fen stalkers aren't particularly friendly, but it seems their most violent tendencies don't truly emerge until nighttime. That's right, we have nocturnal mobs and lighting conditions in Hytale. The easiest way to think about this would be the Minecraft spider that doesn't attack in the day but does at night. I assume fen stalkers will still try to mess with you in the daytime, but they may be more vicious or perhaps even stronger when the sun goes down. The team say we may find torches more useful than even swords when crossing swamps in the dark, showing that it's not just sunlight that deflects these beasts. It's nice to get some more footage of a player lighting up an area as they move with a torch. The fen stalkers hold their hands up to their face like the little slimy vampires that they are. I also thought that this character holding the torch could have been another playable race, but at closer glance it just seems like a human with gloves. Seeing rain pitter-pattering off the ground and the water's surface is also a neat little touch too. These systems help to identify and personalize particular species and ecosystems, adding to their character and depth. Fen stalkers aren't black and white villains. They're actually very protective of their frog friends. Going so far as to interact and mimic them when approaching, fen stalkers seem to really enjoy hopping along with these amphibians. Of course, these modular behaviors can be used to generate territorial conflict, predator-prey dynamics, and a whole bunch of other systems. Also, because of this, I think it probably goes without saying that you shouldn't be punching frogs in Hytale. From the wilds of the Emerald Grove to Zone 2's desert wastes, we next get a showcase of one of the fan favourite mobs, the cacti, and its unique hunting behaviour. While at first I thought these guys may be friendly, it seems they aim to be a prick in the player's thigh, sneaking up when their back is turned. We get a look at a crafting bench, and just out of the depth of field you can see some large bone structures, the origin of which has been the topic of much debate amongst our Discord community. Could they be giant life forms of the past, now extinct? Maybe giant sandworms? I mean, we've seen dinosaurs, so there's no question about there being some ancient beings out there. Referring back to the blog post again, the team wanted to let us know that they have a lot more planned for AI, with a more nuanced utility system in place that will enable NPCs to make more informed decisions during combat. This may range from changing up their attack style or pattern to foes trying a different tactic or angle altogether. It's promising to know that the team are focusing on mob interaction so much. It's a pivotal part of making your world appear alive after all, and I noticed a few people in the comments were seeking more information. Next up, we visit the Scorched Ruins of either Zone 3 or Zone 4. Pretty sure it's 4 going off the fact they said these places appear later in the game. The only name we've had so far for Zone 4, may I add, is the Devastated Lands. As this title would suggest, the place was probably devastated by something. Yeah, good observation, Connor. But seriously, we've seen a lot of evidence of a previous civilization or ancient race in Zone 4. From undead skeletal warriors, to abandoned fortresses, to these desolate human ruins created by technical artist Rodan. The place is described as an ashen wasteland, that something went very wrong here, and as we can see, a Gaian statue is just sitting there, nobody in sight. Either Varen has swept through with his forces already, or another more deadly race has conquered this land. It remains, as usual, to be seen. Teetering on the border of Zone 3's snowy tundra and the glowing red mountains of Zone 4, we see another abandoned house. This time built by technical artist Captain Charles and then ruinified by Rodan. That's actually a really interesting approach to building assets, having one person create a structure so it looks realistic and then another break it down to give it that natural degradation vibe. It's difficult to just build up a ruin from your imagination after all. Creating it out of something pre-existing gives you a lot more to work with. Key things to note in this image are the purple void-like mushrooms and the bright blue lampposts. What are they being lit by? Is it a similar material to Zone 3's glowing ice shards? Is it magic? Or is it a closer look at electricity? Our last image tells us that ruins will hold potential threats as well as possible hints to greater world lore that has been lost to the ages. Piecing together the story of this world may not be as easy as following all the prefabs, requiring us to actually explore and engage with what we run into. While 2 weeks back we saw 2 new hires brought onto the team, Tim Tedlestrade and Ericus Greater Supius have now begun working, and we get to see Tim's first effort at a Trork weapon concept art, showing a club and a groovy looking mace with spikes and skulls attached, not something I'd want to run into. Speaking of things I don't want to walk into, it's Greater's practice build. As he'll be creating new prefabs and points of interest for the game, the team wanted to ease him into the game's engine and building tools by setting him onto a private project. This will not be an in-game location as clarified underneath, but it showcases what's possible, even for a rookie of the game who's come from a background of building in Minecraft. Seems along with the big black castle structure, he was also messing with some lighting effects as we can see green emanating from various areas of the build. Pretty interesting. Side note, no idea what this is on the top of the doorway, let me know if it rings any bells. Just when you thought that's all the Hytale you're getting for this month, as you reach the end of the blog post, boom! You see that they've uploaded Volume 3 of the Fan Art Showcase. But before we get into that, I wanted to announce a competition I'm starting in light of recent events. Considering we'll all be indoors for a little while, and with the Hytale team being remote, I wanted to put a challenge together for artists and creators of the community over the next month to start a project or create a piece of art. The prize? $100. The theme? Easter eggs. Not the chocolate ones, the secret hidden ones you find in games and images and stuff. With it being loosely connected to this time of year, I figured why not. So just to be clear, you have 1 month from this video's release to create a form of Hytale-related art with some sort of Easter egg, hidden secret, or image inside. It can be a painting, drawing, model, render, video, Minecraft build, song, anything. The more creative and the more cryptic, the better. We'll have a set of judges for this one too, just to make sure that we can spot everything and decide fairly. The deadline will be the 24th of April. Submissions can be sent to @Kweebec Corner using the hashtag Hytale Easter Egg, or with the same hashtag on the Kweebec Discord server's Art and Creations text channel. Back to the Fan Art Showcase. Considering we usually have one at the end of the show anyway, it makes sense to put it here. It's no doubt that the team appreciates all the love and imaginative depictions of their characters and the world, so let's take a look. Running through the artists featured, we have Deck's Void Dragon Battle, Crimson Crow's depiction of Gaia and Varen, Ethos Paladin, whose episode of Hytale Fan Art Wars you can watch here, and his Kweebec Zone variations, Arcana Dragon and her plushy designs, Happy Lima's cool little Lego creations of mobs, Jodaman's vector art Trork, and last but not least, Righteous Pebble's character art, which we've covered over the last couple of videos. That's all for this month in the blog post, but one final change to the Hytale site is that they've actually updated the screenshots and video section, so it's a little easier to shuffle through all the in-game footage for those of you who don't instantly download and catalogue every piece of content. Wait, that's just me? Before we wrap up this Hytale News Updates video, I wanted to pose a mini theory question to you guys at home. What is that big blue tree we see in the Timon and Pumbaa Zone 2 footage? I really can't figure it out. Let me know in the comments. Remember to follow me at Kweebec Corner and tweet competition entries with the hashtag Hytale Easter egg. Alternatively, you can DM me the entry or join the Kweebec Corner Discord server where we're now 1,500 members strong. You can place your entry in the Art and Creations text channel and see everyone else's work. Thanks for liking, subscribing, and thank you as always for watching Kweebec Corner. Stay safe and keep free.